Hello, I'm Matt, and I would like to welcome you to the channel. If this is your first visit to our channel, please like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you will know when we upload a new video. In this video, I am going to demonstrate how I prepare the peppers and onions for the omelets that I eat that allowed me to lose 70 pounds without working out and while still eating the foods that I love. I start out by touching up the chef's knife with a steel so that it cuts much better. Until I really started cutting vegetables for myself, I didn't really realize how much using the steel makes it so much easier to cut the vegetables up. I start by cutting the stem and the root end off of the onion. I keep a bowl handy for all of the scraps. And then I cut the onion in half and remove the outside dried layers of skin. I turn a fan on and point it so it blows the vapors from the onion away from me so that it doesn't get in my eyes and cause my eyes to water quite so much. I usually get about a week's worth of omelets out of 2 small onions. Having a handy scrap bowl keeps me from walking back and forth to the trash can. On to onion number 2. Until I started cutting up my own onions and peppers, I used to think it would just take too long to cut all this stuff up to make a breakfast. After getting some experience, I realized it's really not that big a deal and it really doesn't take that much time. I am not a professional cook or chef, so you may be wondering why I would post a video showing how I cut up my peppers and onions. My goal with my book, Deciding for Life, How I Lost 70 Pounds Without Working Out and While Still Eating Foods That I Love, and this YouTube channel is to inspire others to live a healthier and happier lifestyle. So I am posting this video showing you how an amateur like me cuts up his peppers and onions so that he can live a happier and healthy lifestyle. So maybe I can inspire you to decide for your life, to find what works for you to live a happier and healthier lifestyle. Sometimes it's just easier to take it over to the sink and rinse it off. It helps get my fingernails underneath the dried skin, and the skin comes off easier. Then I slice the onions with the grain so that when I cut them the opposite direction, I end up with smaller pieces, which I learned from Chef Jean-Pierre in his video channel. And while you are watching the video, I'm going to discuss an observation that I recently made about the impact that controlling what I eat has over my weight compared to the impact of exercise, and which one has the largest impact on my weight. If you are looking for content on the technique of cutting up vegetables, I highly recommend Chef Jean-Pierre's channel, as he is a chef with over 50 years of experience. Oops, I almost got myself. I really should peel off a little bit more of that dried skin. My sister was in town yesterday and she likes to go for long walks, so we decided to walk from my house to Falling Creek Falls, which is about 2.7 miles from my house and is one of the 6 natural waterfalls in the state of Florida. After our walk, I reviewed the data on my Garmin Connect app to see how far I walked during the day and how many calories I burned for the day compared to the prior day, where I only walked around our property while visiting with our family. Our walk to Falling Creek Falls and the other walking I did around our property for the day totaled 10 miles and, according to the Garmin Connect app, 2,364 calories burned. The prior day, the Garmin Connect app recorded a total of 5.5 miles that I walked around the property and a total calories burned of 2,051 calories. This was a difference of 4.5 miles and only 313 calories. I really should quit being so cheap and peel off more of that dried skin. My normal breakfast of 2 extra large eggs, spinach, peppers, and onions with 1 piece of my homemade whole wheat bread is a little over 350 calories. This helps to put into perspective the impact that a 4.5 mile walk makes, compared to the impact of controlling what I eat. This is interesting, but really not surprising in a way. After I reached my goal of 165 pounds with an average weight loss of 1.81 pounds per week, It only took adding 2 eggs and a piece of bread to stop my weight loss. So this got me to thinking about how much I would have to walk to offset a few common snacks that I might have. So I decided to do a little math and took the 313 calories and divided that by the 4.5 miles that I walked to get an idea of how many calories I burned per mile. That little bit of math came out to 69.55 calories per mile, so we'll round that off to 70 calories for simplicity. I really like Milky Way Midnight Dark candy bars. A 1.76 ounce bar has 220 calories in it. So to offset the calories that I would get from just one of these candy bars, I'd have to walk 3.14 miles. At one time, I used to drink a lot of Mountain Dew, and I'd drink 20-ounce Mountain Dews kind of throughout the day. A 20-ounce Mountain Dew has 290 calories in it. So in order to offset just one Mountain Dew, which I used to drink several of them throughout the day, I'd have to walk 4.14 miles just to offset the one 20-ounce Mountain Dew bottle. So how about one Krispy Kreme original glazed donut? They're 190 calories, so with that, I'd only have to walk 2.71 miles to offset the calories in deciding to eat one of their donuts. So with all of that being said, I could eat 2 Krispy Kreme donuts if I wanted to walk all the way down to Falling Creek Falls and back to my house. These are just a few examples to put things into perspective. I try to make sure I get the pieces cut into small enough pieces that they'll fit into the 1/4 cup measuring cups that I use for portioning out my onions so I can cook them in the microwave. After I finish cutting up the onions, I clean my scraper, my knife, and the cutting board so that I don't contaminate the peppers when I cut them up. I put a lid on the onions to keep the onions fresh. And now it's time to move on to the peppers. The peppers add a little bit of texture and color to our omelets. I try to line up 2 of the creases on the pepper because that seems to allow me to clean it out much easier. And then I cut kind of a V shape to get the seeds out. I try to make sure I get all the seeds and that fleshy part out of the pepper. One of the other interesting observations from looking at the Garmin Connect app is the comparison of how many calories that you burn actively versus resting. For the 2,364 calories that I burned, including walking around for 10 miles, only 605 of those calories were from moving around. The other 1,759 calories were considered resting. That to me is also an interesting observation because I burn more calories just existing than moving around. This also emphasizes the importance of paying attention to what I eat and the impact that it has versus what the impact of moving around has. For much of my life, I really thought the moving around was really important, but it is even more important to me, based on this information, to pay attention to what I eat. I rinse each one of the peppers out with hot water just to try to make sure I get all the seeds out, and usually there's some little dark spots that I wash off as well. Now it's time to julienne, as Chef John Pierre would say. which really just means cutting them into thin, narrow strips. Then I turn them 90 degrees and dice them up. I also use a 1/4 cup measuring cup to measure these out for my omelets, so I try to make sure I get them into a small enough dice that they fit into the 1/4 cup measuring cup quite well. I'm not a medical professional, and I don't give any medical advice. My goal with this channel and my book is to inspire others to find a way to decide for themselves to live a happier and healthier lifestyle. I truly, from a layman's perspective, believe that exercise and moving around is very important to a person's health. What I find interesting about the information that I am getting from the Garmin Connect app is the limited impact that a 4.5-mile walk has on the number of calories that my body burns. When I look at the numbers, it becomes very evident that it would be very difficult to control my weight or lose weight through just adding exercise to my life. I think exercise is very important to my health, but this information emphasizes the importance of controlling what I eat, as it has a much more significant impact on my weight. It shows why it is so important to control the number of calories that I intake, because it takes so much exercise to offset anything extra that I eat throughout the week. With my Deciding for Life system, just like the Body for Life system, I do have a cheat day. And at least for me, it's really difficult to screw up my whole diet to where I can't lose the weight or maintain my weight by having a cheat day. Some may find it interesting to know that I gain between 8 and 13 pounds on a cheat day. Now, some of this is fluid weight, but some of it is also from the food that I eat. And I know a bit of it is fluid weight because typically by the next morning I'm down about 4 pounds. But having a cheat day allows me to maintain my diet throughout the week because it gives me something to look forward to. And not only does it give me a day to look forward to, it gives me a day to relax and not concentrate on what I eat. Or at least not concentrate on eating foods that are necessarily good for me. So on my system days, I'm very intentional about eating the foods that I'm supposed to eat so that I can lose or maintain my weight. And then on my cheat day, I'm very intentional about eating foods that I enjoy without worrying about my weight. It typically takes me about 15 minutes to cut up my peppers and my onions and put them away. In this video, I did cut out some sections to keep the video from being too long so that you can enjoy it. But I did want to tell you how long it actually takes me to cut this stuff up so you have an idea of how long it might take you if you have similar skills. For me, I have decided that this is a worthwhile endeavor for my life to maintain my weight. I hope that I've inspired you to do something similar. Please like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you will know when we upload a new video. If you have a friend that you think this video might inspire to live a healthier and happier lifestyle, please share. Oops, I missed a piece. Gotta cut it up. If you have a question or comment, please leave it in the comment section, as I do answer all of my comments. Thanks for watching, and may you have an awesome and healthier day.